Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing Saturday? Ain't that the truth? But hello, everybody. It's good to see you all. We have got Double or Nothing to preview. I can see the chat's already piling up, so we're already killing it. It's going to be a fun one. And we've got a special guest. Evening. And where are we? One little thing. What am I looking for? Simple. None tonight. From anybody. Oh yes, I am. Thank fuck. I'm extremely happy. He's fucking awful. What's up to you, Stampede? Good seeing you. Not talking that tonight either. That's why you're defending Champ, James. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our predictions, of course. It's going to be a fun one, provided you all behave. Oh, fucking hell. Let me fix this. Let me turn that off. Hold on. There. Yeah, that one. There we go. You better hope so, Zodiac, because I'm here to win one as well. If you'd like to get involved, obviously, just put a in the chat and I'll add your name to the prediction stream. We're only talking Double or Nothing, otherwise, what's the point? If you're not here to talk about Double or Nothing, please leave. Respectfully. And before anyone asks, why not the other show? Because I'm not watching a YouTube production. I'm watching pay-per-view. Let me zoom in though for everybody. There we go. So this is what we've got so far. If you want involved, drop it. You got it, Stampede. Oh, we've not got to that yet, Maria. Jesus. We've not got to that yet. Don't rush. We're going to get to the timeless Toni Storm match. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're not going to get there yet. We're starting in order of this. I don't care what the match order is. That's the order we're doing. So we are starting with women. Depicting good women, of course. But we're going to see how this show goes. So, we are in for a slight show stealer. Not the match of the night, but potentially a sleeper. That's a good one, Zodiac. That's a good one. When we're looking at this match tonight, each one, obviously, apart from... There's only 2 matches on this card I genuinely don't care about. If we're being truly honest, 2 of these matches are going to be pointless. but we'll still give some enjoyment to them. We'll try and predict as best we can, try and find something to be excited by, but still, two of these matches are going to be crap regardless. The opener, however, well, the first match that we've got here to review, of course, won't be. So, Owen Hart Cup Women's Final. Jamie Hayter, former AEW Women's Champion, versus Mercedes Moné, who's yet to win the big one in AEW. I think logic speaks for itself. There's no real favourite, in my opinion, for this match. And the reason why I think there's no real favourite is because it's two people notorious for winning big matches. So that actually makes it a little bit more convoluted to go with. And I think that actually adds more to it, adds to the story. Now the story here is Jamie Hayter's, well, pretty much seems to be a recurring theme for pro wrestlers these days, but she is on a redemption arc. She's looking to redeem herself. She is obviously looking to redeem herself, get back the title that she never lost. Whereas Mercedes is gunning for the title that she wants to win most of all. So, I think in retrospect, we're going to see a really confident win here, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, predictions wise, so Stampede's gone for Jamie Hayter, no problem. Zodiac is going for Mercedes. Catherine's also going for Jamie Hayter, which is fine. There's quite a few in here that really can depict the story. Hopefully, I finally think Mercedes has a great match or a match where I'm impressed by performance. Did you not watch the Athena match? Or her match with Willow? That is harsh. Me, on the other hand, I'm so 50-50. I'm still depicting how I want this one to go. I think realistically we've got some decent wrestling on hands here, but I'm not sure they're going to really take to the next level. I think you have to pressure yourself to get that far. Yo, bro, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. I'm eager to see how this one goes, but I actually think Stampede might be on one here because I'm expecting this to be the all-in match as well. I know people want Mercedes versus Toni Storm at all in. I don't. I actually think that's the wrong decision, and I stand by it. So I'm also echoing. If you're going to look at the story, if you're going to look at the growth of the two talents, Jamie Hayter has grew a lot since she's returned from injury. Mercedes Moné shouldn't be competing for a world title while she's still holding a mid-card championship. So personally, I think if she wins this, then there's no point in her being TBS champion still. It deflates her run. So for me personally, I think the smart money is Jamie Hayter and Mercedes could still be here for it at some point. Full Gear, for example. That for me is much more of a strong sell, and I stand by it. So I just need the three predictions of James, Maria, and Fernando. James is leaning towards Mercedes. Okay, so this is where it's going to get really tight. I should do her justice and give her her second. Yeah, I think it's a tough call. Because right now, well, to be fair, I've just explained it. I've just explained why I think it's a bad decision. Yes, this is true, Stampede. And I can see a lot of outcast references kicking in. And I actually think that might do this very well if they do tip into the outcasts a lot. We might even see them. You never know. Or should I say, one of them. Ugh. Hmm. I think Zodiac's justified who he's going with, and I think this is all going to be unanimous. There is no way these guys lose. But I'm going to say this. This is one of those matches where it means fuck all. Like this actually is one of the two matches on the card where I really don't give a flying fuck about. It actually does nothing for either team. Like I actually think it would be a disaster for them to lose. I disagree. Sorry, I disagree. The difference is Rock and Austin were massive stars. Timeless Tony Storm, Mercedes are not on their level, never will be, and they don't sell money like that. And they're great, but this is a reflection. It's just not possible. I don't think it'll be a good match, my friend. I think it's going to be so damn boring. This should have been on Collision. Agreed. Lafayette, Indianapolis in the house. All right, my man. How are you? Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's always good to see and meet new people. I think it's bad to have the match early. Honestly, I think the way it's going, this is not an all. It's not an all-in match. Pretty much near enough every day. This should be based on the story, and there is no story with Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. If you want to have that match, you do it at Full Gear, not the main pay-per-view where it actually has a story implication. Mercedes' journey to the title isn't actually a story like Hangman's was. The only way you get anything out of Mercedes Moné being champion is if she loses the title pronto. And if she loses the title pronto, how does she lose? Where does she lose? What's the need? I think it's just a bad call. I think it would be a really bad idea. And I'm going to stand by that. I'm afraid I won't divert my opinion on this. I might as well just change it to the Daily Steel Chair. Or just the Steel Chair. That's alright, Smith. I appreciate it though. Oh, absolutely. Ask as much as you want. I've got no issue with that at all. I'm assuming Maria, because she said that's the biggest match she's gone from Mercedes Benz, so we've got a lot. It's a big divide here. A heavy divide, actually. Everybody surely is picking the Hurt Syndicate. Like, nobody's stupid enough to go against them. Yeah, Hurt Syndicate are going to retain this, and hopefully this match is done in 5 minutes. Like, I actually hope this is a quick squash because nobody's going to like this. It's going to be horrible. What won't be horrible is this. Now, obviously, Maria did confirm who she's got, which is completely fine. So I'm just putting that one in. Fucking behave, keyboard. You've got a really good contest here. Oh, MJF will be there. Some of the commentary isn't great. I won't deny that. Like, Excalibur is just a masked Pat McAfee. Bores me to death. Good idea, Maria. Good idea. We're in for a real treat with this one. We really are. But then I can also say the same about WWE though. Oh wait, I'm not even mentioning them tonight, but they're the same. There's too many inside jokes that just aren't good. Inside jokes are what's bad for professional wrestling anyway. On a grand scale, it's not good enough. I think Lashley, after the tag stuff, he should be in some marquee matches against Ospreay, Hangman, even Cage. But he's not going to be in tags. He's not going to be out of that. That's what he is. He's in the tag scene now. They're so bad. The two of them are crap. I'm really eager to see how this one goes. This is probably going to go about 20 minutes, depending on Toni Storm's leg. But I'm eager to see what we get in terms of like how they utilize Toni Storm against Mina Shirakawa, because there's so much out with to contain, and I don't think she's got enough in the tank realistically to keep up with Mina past 20 minutes, because Mina Shirakawa is just a stamina machine. Although I can see potentially for entertainment purposes, Toni Storm might hit the mic tonight, and I actually would like it. I actually think what will do her good is maybe some of those innuendos she makes a distraction to Mina Shirakawa. Luther's no more than likely going to interfere. What we're going to get from him, though, I'm not sure. That's my only concern. The crazy thing is, I would really like a title change on this event. I really would, but it's not happening. Nah, Maria, she's done. She's done with AEW. She's gonna get benched now. And to be fair, it's her own bloody fault. Like, all due respect to Mariah May, she's a great wrestler and all that, but it's her own fault. She's been benched because of her own stupidity. All the title changes are coming all in. Mm-hmm. I agree. It's more like hush hush, basically. I think the only title that may not change hands at all in is the World Championship. The men's world title is the only one I think that won't change hands, apart from the international title. But I'm looking forward to this one, women's world title. It's going to be a fun change of quality. I'm not going to preview the pre-show matches because I don't watch, and I will not be watching it anyway because I don't like pre-shows. But I do think the women's world title match, quite frankly, I would open the show with this. I actually would have Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa open the show. It would be the perfect show opener. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. FTR, FTR, FTR. Yeah, I'm on the same inclination. Only because that little Egypt is at ringside. hmm Whoever wins is going, regardless, whoever wins the main event, they're going to lose at All In. They just will. In terms of FTR, I hate to say this, but FTR's heel turn is like John Cena's. It's already failed. And the reason why it's failed is because they've aligned themselves with Stokely Hathaway. And Stokely Hathaway doesn't generate heat. He doesn't, well, he doesn't generate the heat that FTR want, that FTR need. He generates go away heat. I'm sorry, man. I have to be truthful. I have to be honest. I can't run away from it. It's their heel turn has bottled it, and I blame the fact that they had it strong with turning on Copeland. In his return, when he teams up with Christian Cage at All In, it's going to cook, or maybe All Out in Canada. Either way, that match is happening. But I don't think it's actually getting stronger, and it's because of that moron. For me, it has Stampede because it's not actually having a strong reflection of those two as wrestlers, or let alone as talent in general. It's not actually benefiting them at all, and it says a lot that they are stuck with Stokely Hathaway. And for the 7th anniversary show, they're wrestling Daniel Useless Garcia. That's why it's failed for me. And also, why does it have? They're feuding with commentary tables. It's 2025 and we're still doing these angles, man. Like, I just find it embarrassing that we cannot get away from these angles. Orange Cassidy's a basic bitch, though. He's a right old basic bitch. And he was overly pushed. Which I find absolutely insane that he got an even bigger over push. Oh, the kicks pockets the lot. For a good wrestler, he really is a dumb shit. They have done stuff with him, and he's not good. Daniel Garcia is not good enough. Like, he's one of the folk that they have to let go. And as good as Nige is, and I've seen Nige more times than anybody here live, the reality is he is retired. If Daniel Garcia is going to have the match, you have it with his actual teammate. Having commentary get involved isn't good. The match on itself, by the way, the only part of this match I'm looking forward to is when Nige links up with Cash Wheeler. So if you don't watch, then you won't know what he's done. His matches literally tie in. Like even though his matches are boring, it's all the creative stuff with. Now he ties up with Kyle O'Reilly. His link ups with Pac, for example, they're all creative. The problem is he just ain't that good. I think Adam Copeland returns and costs FTR the match. Nigel and Garcia wins. Not a bad shout. If he doesn't return during the match, I think he returns after. Oh, fuck off. This thing really wants to annoy me. That's why I think, James, I think he returns after. It's too bad that he's over pushed though. He was pushed so damn much that it basically became too much to enjoy him. Even when he tried to reinvent himself by changing his jeans to black, he hasn't done anything. Like he is one-dimensional. He is your example of one-dimensional. One of these matches shouldn't even be on the card as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think necessarily need Copeland to tie in with this. It should just be after, but when I look at it in general, the minute the patriarchy ends, I'll actually be delighted because it hasn't been going anywhere for quite some time, even before Nick Wayne buggered off to Japan. Like it isn't going anywhere. I'm taking this down for a minute. There we go. I don't know how you can realistically. I can't. I stopped taking it seriously about 2-3 months ago. Christian Cage, I take seriously, but I just feel like they've given up. Baldy is winning. Oh yeah, he'll get booted out. He'll get booted out of his own faction. They'll probably rename it to the Matriarchy, and then we can all cry in laughter. Hello, Roshin. Ricochet. It doesn't look like the Patriarchy is breaking up in time for Colt and Christian versus FTR All In. There's plenty of time to do it. Like, there still is plenty of time. Even if they do it, I think it's better at All Out, though. I think All Out is the better option just because of where it's held. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I'm surprised that they're doing a stretcher match in the first place. Stretcher matches haven't been good for years. That is a reflection of his character, though. They turned him into an invincible person, and it was just boring to watch. To be honest, Orange Cassidy doesn't really have a character. Zodiac, I don't know either. It had potential. Had. Ricochet winning actually does nothing for him here, in my opinion. I actually stand on that. There's nothing for Ricochet if he wins this. Oh, that wasn't a good match. That was quite poor, in my opinion. I think the last good stretcher match for me was, honestly, I think in terms of better ones, Batista versus Shawn Michaels is better than this. I know that's why I put him down. Stretcher matches are an odd one as well because they don't get booked. Not in terms of like frequency, booked enough for them to be prepared for. But then when you get them, they're either hot or cold. You're at a crossfire when it comes to a stretcher match. And when you look at how they get done, they can't be short matches either, but they can't be overly too long, but it makes sense. So you might end up seeing this one go quite a distance, unless there's some sort of shenanigans involved. That could happen. Like, Anthony Bowens needs something. If he ends up being the next feud for Ricochet, I wouldn't mind that. That would actually give him a little bit more scope in the game. But I'm just not sure. I think she's just saying any match I'm in, I just win. I actually think they've got a chance where the stretcher match ends up being really bad. I've just got a weird feeling in my head. I think it might actually. I think they might not succeed with this in terms of expectation. So I'm a little bit restrained on it. I swear, if Eddie Kingston returns, I'm going to turn Double or Nothing off. I'm not kidding. Catherine claims it's a Megas team. It's so not a Megas team. It's actually a good name for it. The Elite Riders actually is quite a cool name. I would have said the Deaf Elite, but that would have just been funny. He does have major ties. Eddie Kingston he's just awful. Like I'm not kidding, I will honestly turn off the show if he is there. Like I don't want to see him wrestle again. Like I've never liked him at all. I don't see any appeal in him. But I'm actually agreeing with Maria. I'm actually going for the Death Riders here. I feel they've also got something up their sleeve that people are overlooking. There's always something with a heel in a cage match that you can't write off. You know what I mean? Like, there's always something. Got 3 for them, 3 for Swerve. So right now we're actually all firing. Jack Perry returns and helps the heels win. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, I think he does. He's just a 4-move wonder. I'll give him praise on one thing. His wrestling isn't good. His promos are. His promos are organic. And you can feel the emotion from his promos, you know? Like, I won't ever dispute that. That's what I'm saying. He's good on the mic, but when it comes to wrestling, he's crap. He only does 4 moves, and his chops are awful. He chops like a grandparent doing the dishes. It just looks so out of touch. It just looks so bad. But when he speaks, you can feel the emotion. The emotion's very strong. But also, we don't know if he's in good shape to go as well. We don't know where he's at, if he's been cleared to even appear. I'm eager to see what happens if he does return and what they do with him, but I'm not exactly. I'm not jumping at my seat for a Kingston return, if you know what I mean. We could get a lot of returns, though. We could end up getting a debut. Like, nobody's really thought of that. Like, nobody's actually considered that we might get a debut in this match. And if we do, I don't think it's a male talent. There's always somebody, Maria. There's always somebody. Speaking of that, I wonder if I can just get for a little bit of a laugh. Don't worry, this is not who I'm expecting to debut, by the way. I just want this for absolute entertainment purposes. Yes, Okada's going to retain because I've been correct all along about what's going to happen at All In. Your main event is Okada versus Omega, which was so damn obvious from last year when I called it. Now, just for pure enjoyment, what would I have? Aye, everyone's agreeing. We've all pretty much got the exact same thing. because he's going to go to the unified title match when he drops it. Oh yeah, they're all junkies. They all look like junkies. Now, where is it? For pure entertainment purposes, this is what we need. I wish we could use this in the background for a song just because it's so good. If only I can find a version that's not trademarked, because this would be the perfect background theme song or background music just to chill back wrestling with. So I'm going to play it. Not by much, of course. I'm not insinuating it like that, Eddie. Not like that, Stampede, where we're referring to him like in that way. We're saying the look is how he's portrayed, but it's actually strong. It's actually what makes him unique because it ties in. Like I actually said this once about Jake Roberts because I got asked this random question once, which I could never really understand until I had to think about it. But somebody asked the question, what if someone who has issues mentally or they've had some sort of addiction problem, how can they be a valuable asset? Well, no. The main event of All In, honestly, will be Omega versus Okada. It will be. They'll honestly main event. Just because Tony Khan will not be anywhere not being able to make it as main event. But what I'm saying is, so I got asked a question about Jay Roberts. And I think it's stupid that they asked about him anyway. It was when he was having addiction problems. I think it was mid 90s. And I got asked the question of how can someone be that useful in the wrestling business when all they're going to do is drink and they're going to fall short. And my response eventually when I figured out was, well, you can have them bounce back by saying they conquered their addictions and they'll conquer you, unless you're Dustin Rhodes, who mentions the devil every single week now that it falls flat. Anybody else, it feels authentic. So when Eddie Kingston talks about demons, or even his own demons, say it's just one demon that he has, you feel the emotion. But when he wrestles, you don't feel it. Speedball is going to shock the world and pull off the upset versus Okada, and Okada wins his title on Dynamite a few weeks later. Ooh. I mean, to be fair, Fernando, that's not a bad shout, but I think once he loses it, for me personally, when you lose that title, you shouldn't win it back. Like, this is one of the few titles I would be like, if I lose it, I don't want to go back to it. I really don't. give me the 20-minute TV matches, but you just know that they won't want the title belt because they'll want to move on to bigger and better things. So that's what I think. But in circumstance, there isn't much available going forward that you can say, that's really what we want. Speedball needs something better. For me, what's going to happen is Okada's going to retain in 19 minutes. He's going to retain. Then after the Anarchy in the Arena match, because this will be before that, I think. After Anarchy in the Arena, Okada's going to challenge Omega. Oh yeah, that's my whole point. People are against this title being unified, but I'm not. Like, an AEW Intercontinental Champion, which, to be fair, if anyone says, oh, but you're copying WWE, you're not, because so many companies across the world use Intercontinental. An AEW Intercontinental Championship will be incredible, and that's why Kenny Omega is going to be the first. The Continental Classic Championship will get dropped. The International Championship will get dropped, and we'll just see one title belt. However it'll look, I hope it's a white strap. Personally, I think the white strap belts have always been the best for the Intercontinental title. And you can still have the man is... Yeah, Okada's going to call out Omega. Okada's definitely going to call out Omega. And when you look at the segments, Okada's been the one who's taken it to Omega each time. It makes sense for him to keep going. Keep trying to get Omega's attention. Eventually just goes, right, you, me, title versus title. And they have to turn off the... Well, not turn off, but they need to slip aside the stipulation. Title versus title. Don't do what happened with Okada versus Danielson. Remove the 20-minute time limit and just let them wrestle one fall to a finish. No worries, Catherine. Thank you. I'll add them in. Enjoy yourself. Probably because they don't do... When they do McMahon stuff, they don't make it offensive. Yeah, Don Callis' family wins and Fletcher gets pointed in the direction of Adam Cole and the TNT title. Yeah. The TNT title isn't worth anything at the moment. It hasn't meant anything for quite a while, and that's not Adam Cole's fault. It's just that for some time, the title virtually meant nothing. So I actually would prefer they do it this way and they go for it. Now, I think this is going to be the start of Takeshita's exit to the family. Double or Nothing's going to be the beginning of the exit. I actually hope it all in we get Takeshita versus Josh Alexander. I think Josh Alexander is going to be the big mainstay. And for me, it makes more sense. I think he's just incredible. Why is elevate now becoming like the new buzzword? But yeah, the Don Callis family's exposure would certainly help it. The Don Callis family very soon will need a refresh. Not in a bad way. It keeps it going. Yeah, Adam Cole can elevate it, but he's not been. He hasn't been healthy Adam Cole. I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, he hasn't been used in matches unless he must have been carrying an injury. I do like him. In terms of Danhausen, though, yeah, he's just on the indie scene. Danhausen doesn't really do much. To be fair, Danhausen doesn't really do a lot. He doesn't do a lot, and that's not an insult to him. But if I actually think the best way to use Danhausen is just to have him in little sketch show scenes. Like, I would have him just doing. I think Danhausen would be a good interviewer. Like, I would rather have him. Like, I would have him doing interviews going forward. But in terms of, I actually think this is going to be one of the best matches of the night. 6-man tag. You've got 6 incredible wrestlers in general. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. You've got Roderick Strong up against the fun times of Josh Alexander, who for me is top 5 technical wrestler in the world, not even a debate, top 3 for me personally. Konosuke Takeshita, who's been excellent, and then Kyle Fletcher, who's still potential. He's still a tag team wrestler trying to find his feet as a single, but he's been doing really well. I think we're in for quite a treat, and I hope it doesn't become a finisher fest and a spot fest in general. I just hope we get to see all these talent work. And I would have Adam Cole might take the pin. I feel like it'd be too soon for this sort of circumstance. I think the best case scenario, you just let it go. I think what they should do is a little bit of old school wrestling. You have the melee in the ring, all 6 men, and then to conclude it, you've got Adam Cole goes for the Panama Sunrise. And instead of hitting successfully, he drops down into position to do the destroyer part. Instead, we get up forward, brings him down like a jackknife cover, and it catches Adam Cole off guard. But I don't think Fletcher should be the one that pins him. I think Fletcher should still get the title shot. But I think because it's his first pay-per-view appearance, I would give this the pin to Josh Alexander personally. Yeah, TV title should be defended every single week, regardless. That's what a TV title's for. I think Fletcher might hold it a lot longer than this. Anthony Bowen's start of 2026, I think, will get it. Kyle Fletcher is going to be very strong in the mid-card title scene. Like, he's going to be really strong for that. That's going to be his best. I don't necessarily think he's going to make it in the world title picture. You might see him have the odd world title match, but I think he's going to be perfect for the mid-card title scene, and that's not a bad idea. Like, that's actually not a bad idea for him. Like, I actually like the way that he can be used. Not every talent needs to be a main event talent. People just base it, oh, this person's world championship material, this person's not world championship material. No, Kyle Fletcher, for me, absolutely is TNT and international, but eventually going to be intercontinental, whatever they want to call it, title material, because he's strong in that scene and he can carry it. But is he a world title contender? For me, no, he's not. And that's not a bad thing either. Like, that's actually a good thing. This is a problem right now I have with pro wrestling, is not many people know they're losing their role, and that actually pisses me off. And that's just multiple time. No, I don't think that would be. I don't see it. If it's one time, I'm okay with that. I don't see him being like a multi-time champion, you know. And that's nothing against him. I just don't see it. I think once is actually a good thing. Stupid Mike. Multi-time champion seems easy, seems there. For me, I think the best case for him is just one and done. One reign, let him enjoy it, but he still holds the strength of the mid card down. Like the best way to use Kyle Fletcher is how TNA used Christopher Daniels. That's the best way to use him. To be fair, Miro was crap before he came into AEW, and he still is. Yeah, you can't be. I know exactly. You can't. He'll never be better than Brett anyway. It's okay. Of course, Maria. I'm not saying he won't. I recognize him as a tag wrestler, but I see potential as a single star. But I don't see potential as him as a big main event talent. That's not a bad thing. Not everyone's a main eventer. That's actually what makes that's actually what makes the talent special. Miro is crap. He's done nothing for years, and he's going to do nothing in AEW. He's going to do nothing in WWE with his AEW gimmick. I know you've been saying it ever since. I will hold you to your consistency, my friend. I will hold you to your consistency. There we go. I was making sure I had the right bloody. There we go. Got it right. I'm eager to see what happens. No, I mean his performance has been crap. You can have bad booking, but still have good performances. He hasn't delivered a good performance in years. His last good performance was getting put in a casket. Not now. It's over. It says a lot that he leaves the company where he was going to be. He leaves one company because he doesn't like the fact he's not being used or whatever, or XYZ. And he goes to another company just to use the same gimmick. Where is he going to get pushed? Maybe. Is he going to end up back in catering? Yes. He's going to end up back in catering. He had potential a long time ago. And I say this truthfully, when he came in initially, I thought, you know what, he's got something here. I found his gimmick a little bit strange at first. His first gimmick in AEW, but apart from that, I don't see anything. I've got nothing against slow-paced styles. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is the best at slow-paced wrestling. It's just for me, I don't see any entertainment to Miro. I just don't. You can say the word Maria. You're not going to get in trouble for saying fuck. It's okay. Toni did want Miro to lose to Orange Cassidy. That's true. That's painfully obvious. But even when he wasn't doing anything with Orange Cassidy, and he was actually given stuff to do, what does he do? He could have had a great. There was actually a good feud there for me that I think would have worked with him if they just let it pay out. I would have enjoyed. I would have enjoyed if they'd done it right. The feud there with Andrade was right there. Or the feud with Aleister Black. We're not going to get that now. Well, Malachi Black, I should say. We're not getting in there. Those would have worked for me. But we didn't get it. Which actually does not help him. Like I said in the Dynamite review show, I think this could be a match of the year candidate. You did say that as well. I'm hopeful, but I'm not looking for a. In this one, I'm not looking for a match of the year. See, I think he had those qualities, but now it just seems like they're being wasted. Or he isn't going to fulfill it. Simple as, I think he had the potential years ago, and then they made him into a stupid clown, and then that was it. It just washed off. It was like going in a sauna after being in a swimming pool. Which, I've tried that. And that is... The heat's insane. Made my call. I'm going for Will Ospreay to get the win. Tough to call, but I just think Ospreay moving forward benefits him a bit more. If Hangman wins, then fair enough. Reasonable take, James. That's a reasonable take. This one's going to be very difficult to call. I actually think the decision for this match won't be determined until the lads are going out. Like, I've got a weird feeling that the 2 tournament final matches will be determined when the lads and ladies are going out, because of what's at stake. You can't planning so far in advance for this is so tricky. I agree, Stampede. There's a whole lot of parity under that Ricochet Briscoe match. I know. I think everybody essentially has got some very strong predictions here. If you look at the differences, let's see who's got some differences. So we can have a little bit of where points are scored. So 1, 2, 3 for Jamie Hayter, 6 for Toni Storm. Sorry, 5 for Toni Storm. I can't count sometimes. Everybody's picked so far has picked the Hurt Syndicate. Everybody's picked Toni Storm. 1 difference for FTR, so there's a point either side. 3 Briscoes, 3 Ricochets. Oh, wait, actually, Maria, I didn't get your prediction for this match. Did you drop your prediction for this one? No, I didn't. I didn't get Fernando's prediction for Anarchy in the Arena either. I need Fernando's prediction for Callis family as well. The best character in AEW, Hangman wins. The best character is Hangman? Interesting. If she means male character, then understandable. I think it's tricky. A lot of parity, yeah. Anarchy in the Arena's quite the call. There's a lot of split ones. Harley Cameron's okay in terms of character, but I think Julia Hart is up there as well. I think the women have better characters than the men, in my opinion. And that's actually not a bad thing either. That just shows how well they've worked on themselves. That's it. Jack Perry returns and helps the heels win. So I thought I had your prediction, Fernando. Sorry. So Fernando's also gone with the Elite. So 4-3. Ooh. I actually think the matches that are the match that will determine who wins. To be fair, Zodiac she does in little ways, but Julia Hart in match presentation is something else. I would like to see her do it in more promos though. I think Julia Hart doing more promos would do her the world of good. She for me is a future world champion. Harley Cameron is dynamic. Harley Cameron is someone who actually I would not belt up at all. You know, there's special kinds of talents that doesn't need to win a championship because they'll always stand out. Harley Cameron is one of those people. I would not give her a title. That's not an indictment to her, by the way. That shows how good she is even without a championship. We have 4 for Ospreay, 2 for Hangman. No, of course, you don't job her out at all. She'd be a good valet for people. So I need Fernando's prediction for the trios tag. Cactus Jack Perry is a fun one. Julia Hart, realistically, right now, she's not learning still. You can see she's fine without it. Cactus Jack Perry would actually give that guy some better character because the scapegoat's finished. I think it's finished. I think Julia Hart's already fine. She doesn't need to learn anymore. All she needs to do now is just hold about in the right way. Willow's special. Willow's not a character. She's a cuddly bear. She's the best pure babyface AEW has in general. Like, there's no bigger babyface in AEW than Willow. You're missing one, Billy. Yeah, they'll do well. That match would have been a whole lot better for. That match would be a whole lot better if Shayna Baszler appears. I'm glad that she is because she should not be. She should not be playing down to them. That's the thing. WWE are so like, we're not doing the dates anymore. We don't do all that, and they still proceed to do it. I can see her going somewhere and just being a top killer again. It's a shame that she's not available till then, because this match would have been perfect for her. But I'm glad the Owen Hart Cup Men's Final is main event in this show. I wouldn't mind Shayna Baszler in Bloodsport either. It should not be any days in general. They said they were taking that away. So again, another lie from WWE. For me, there should be none of that nonsense should be around anymore. That all in general needs to go. I'm looking forward to seeing wherever Priscilla Kelly goes. I don't care about Cora Jade. She can stay away from pro wrestling in general. I don't agree with the no compete stuff. I've never agreed with no competes. So let's see. We have still the three here. Everybody. Basically everybody except Fernando. Who's this person here? Yeah, Maria, I need your winner for the stretcher match, please. The match I'm looking forward to most, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the main event more than anything. But apart from that, it's this. Okada. I hope Okada has a great match. He hasn't had a great one in quite a while. Now's the time to have a great one. Mr. Samantha Erevig wins. I'll take that. Yeah, I know what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like, I know what a non-compete is so they can get. It's because they're getting paid up. But quite frankly, you've released them. Just let them go and get work quickly anyway. The good thing is at least they're healing each other. Well, they're healing themselves, but quite frankly, I don't think it needs to be 90 days. I think 90 days is a bit excessive. I just wish Shayna didn't talk. She's a mouthpiece. If Shayna just does some realism promos, she's fine. Anything else, it doesn't work for her. Okay, that was funny. Hold on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Get over here. There we go. She doesn't really need to speak. When she was in NXT, her promos were really good. Her promos in NXT were good. But I prefer when she just beat the living shit out of you. And she beat you convincingly as well. That's why I hate the fact that they made her lose to Becky Lynch. That boring biatch had to get her own way. Like that was one of the decisions I was consistently angry with. But I guess I should give my main event prediction then, shouldn't I? Mm-hmm. I said months ago that I think All In, some way, somehow, we're going to get Swerve teaming up with Hangman Page. Hello, Larkbuck. I am one for sticking by my principles. I'm one for sticking by what I say, even if it doesn't happen directly at that event. So, I'm going with Will Ospreay. Larkbark, if you want to take participate in the predictions, let me know. All you need to do is just drop them in the chat, and I'll add them to the predictions. I think that's who they'll go up against. But I do think we're going to get Swerve Hangman tag team. It won't be like an AJ Styles Kurt Angle thing where they randomly end up like tag team champions despite being great rivals. I just think it'll be one time only to deal with a common enemy. And I think it would be a really good matchup for All In. Whoever you are on Twitch, first of all, welcome, and sure, just bear in mind everyone in the chat can say what you're saying. Oh, you're a digital artist, right? Okay. Yes, we know how Paige and the Bucks work together exceptionally. As long as I don't see Kenny Omega going back to the Elite and he just becomes the heel world champion at the end of the year, I'm happy. Me too, James. Me too. Hangman fails against Moxley, thereby his redemption arc needs something to get it to his goal, and that something will be Swerve Strickland full circle. Hence the teamwork suggestion. You're moving fast. Two seconds, guys. I really need some drink. No, fuck off. I don't want that. There we go. I think all in all, it's going to be very hard for AEW to top Revolution, which for me has been their best pay-per-view this year so far. And they've had a lot of good pay-per-view events. But I will be watching. I think we're going to get a good, interesting show from AEW. I think they're going to try and take it to a level that stands out, but they're also not going to try and insult. I don't think they're going to try and insult the fans. I know there's times where you'll feel like they have insulted the fans with some of the shit they've pulled, which is understandable. But I feel like here's a chance where we can see some strength in the booking and just let them go. I would love to see this woman appear in some capacity, but I don't think we're going to. But I'm eager to see what happens tonight. This Double or Nothing's got the potential. Out of all 6 previous ones so far, the first one, the third one, and the 5th one all together have been the ones I've enjoyed the most. All round basis, they're strong, they're booked well. Double or Nothing is if you look at pay-per-views that are consistently booked well, company to company specific, Double or Nothing is probably the one pay-per-view consistently booked well by AEW in its entirety, where it hasn't had anything gone wrong, which is rare. I told you, everyone's chat's visible. It's hilarious how all this McMahon shit was good in AEW. Swears House on Fire was probably the most memorable moment. It's up there for sure. It has a lot of meaning, but to be fair though, it's not really just McMahon shit because this stuff was getting done in Memphis and the old days of the Carolina, because there was another thing in that territory. That's why I say Carolina, not anything else. There's good ways to do it. Entertainment style done well, it does. All aspects of professional wrestling realistically should do well, but it doesn't really do as much, but this works. You know what would have made Anarchy in the Arena even better, Zodiac? If the World Championship was on the line. I think Anarchy in the Arena with the world title on the line would have been very interesting. Because then, how does Jon Moxley defend it? Like, there's a funny match that I remember years ago. I recommend people watching it if you haven't. Unfortunately, he's one of the worst commentators in wrestling. But Booker T's TNA debut is the perfect example of a tag team match where the world championship is defended and everybody can win it. Imagine Anarchy in the Arena, where the world title's on the line, and anybody that scores the pin becomes the champion. Also, the backstage segment where the Bucks were getting dragged by Kingston's truck. Not essentially Stampede, it's not. It's not because of what I've just suggested. It doesn't automatically mean the champion's going to retain. Because if there's 8 people in the match, and it's one fall, anyone's taking it. Genesis 2007. It was good for him. That was an exceptional time. Yes, I'm reading your messages, and at the moment, respectfully, I'm good. You realise that Moxley can still regain it? Like the NWO storyline, for example, didn't end when Hogan lost the belt to Luger. What I'm saying is someone in this match can have the Luger moment and Moxley goes absolutely berserk to get his title back. Which I actually think would be interesting for the TV because remember, no one saw the belt in so long as well. It would be a quick but it would be an interesting swerve. Because I said it before, you can beat Moxley for the briefcase, but it's not essential that you've beaten Moxley for the title. That's why I actually would give it. It would be funny. Exactly. You can take the piss on. You can absolutely take the piss on it. You're overbooking it if you over exaggerate the circumstance. Let's be real. It's not a bad idea. It's actually a significantly good way to do something. Because let's be real, Moxley's only been in jeopardy twice this entire title reign. And that was Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. There's elements to this story that you can really go to. It's going to be interesting what happens when he does lose the belt. Because I don't think they're going to just automatically die after Moxley loses the belt. I don't think they're going to quickly dissipate. I think you'll still see them go a little bit longer. No idea when Pac's back. What grade do you give Double or Nothing? Because of the FTR versus McGuinness and Garcia match and the tag team title match, I'm going to knock a few grades off. So I'm going to give this not a plus or a minus, just a straight grade B. In terms of like title, well, there's been 10. Yeah, a B with potential. There's only been 10 world champions in AEW in 6 years. Like that includes like multiple title reigns. There's only been 10 different world champions. And in terms of length of runs, I'll show you just now like how frequent they are. Sorry, 13 reigns, sorry, 9 champions, sorry. The interim champion thing was a load of shit. If it ends up being a B+, I agree. It's not a bad idea. To be fair, remember, the title's been around for 6 years. They're trying to establish the excitement of the reign, but also they're not trying to dwindle, but it's the difference of the champions. So for example, the very first All Out was Chris Jericho. He won the title. He held the title for 182 days. Jon Moxley would take the title in 2020 before the pandemic began. He held it for 277 days. Obviously, I want to give you the exact statistics to the length of days. That's why I'm saying it from here. Kenny Omega would hold the title for 346 days. Probably their strongest runs they had, like seriously strong runs. Hangman Adam Page was 3 days short of 200, which wasn't a bad idea. His title reign was actually quite good. CM Punk held the title for 87 days. In between that time, that was a Double or Nothing, 2022, which was actually a decent pay-per-view. Jon Moxley, Forbidden Door, would hold the interim championship, which was genuinely fucking boring. He would then officially be crowned the champion and hold the title for 11 days. CM Punk would then win the title and hold it for 3 days at All Out. The title then is vacated because of the brawl out at All Out. Jon Moxley again would have another 59-day title reign when he beat Dynamite Grand Slam when he beat Bryan Danielson. Which is actually good. To be fair, Jon Moxley having 2 title reigns that involve Bryan Danielson is special. MJF would then win the title of Full Gear 2022, 406 days. He held it all the way to December when he lost the title to Samoa Joe, 113 days. Swerve Strickland, he won it April 2024, 126-day title reign. Then the match I was at both Wembley shows, but I was at the title match event where Danielson beat Swerve, 48 days. And then currently, as of Wrestle Dream, which is October 12th last year, Jon Moxley has been champion for 221 days. Combined length is mental though. I'm going to show you. This is the combined length for each champion. And it's obviously Jon Moxley and CM Punk are the only two people to hold multiple title reigns. But this is the difference. A lot of people disagreed with me at the time, but I still stand by it. Chris Jericho absolutely was the right man to be the first champion. Titles are defended practically every pay-per-view except this one. And they do get TV title reigns. Oh yeah, they are. The only champion realistically who tried to not defend it because he tried to go back to a different way was MJF. Like MJF, he had some good title reigns, but his title matches, sorry, but for me, what I liked was MJF actually tried to make use of his appeal and star power to try and elevate his challengers by the segments instead of title matches, but his title matches at least delivered. 100% Jericho was the right call. The first several months of AEW's beginning was on his back. He has the name value, can handle the pressure. I go back and watch his title reign a lot. I like his title reign still. This is a very unpopular opinion. Daniel Bryan should not have ended Swerve's title reign. Daniel didn't need the title before retiring. No, I agree. He should have won the title in the Iron Man match versus MJF. That's who I think should have ended MJF's title reign. I would have had it end to Danielson in the Iron Man match. Because that was tailor-made for him. Swerve, I wanted his title reign to be that. For me, that was the perfect way to end against Hangman. It made more sense for Hangman to beat him. Yeah, for every 32 days is fine. That's not a bad thing because he's still doing the TV stuff. He's still honouring his commitments, which is a good thing. I've got no issue with that at all. When you compare it to, like, I wish I could play some clips because there's one. Like, if I was able to play clips, we know what Aubrey Edwards is like. Shut down immediately. Sounds like Emperor Palpatine, but I'm serious. She moves like Palpatine when it comes to getting things blocked. But like, I would honestly like. In terms of title reigns, it's hard to say like in order which ones I like most or which ones I didn't like the most. But Chris Jericho for me, like, he's still in the top 3 title reigns in general for AEW. Like, I got a lot of excitement out of Chris Jericho as world champion because that was his last great main event run. That plus the Sins of Jericho MJF feud, which I really liked, but his last top main event consistent work for me was when he was AEW World Champion. Yep, Le Champion. It was so good. hmm She is she's a fucking weirdo. See, this is fine. It's a TV title. A TV title every 21 days. To be fair, it should be a little bit more frequent. But she's still defending. She's still doing the job. That's all that matters to me. If she wasn't doing the job, then I would have some concerns. But I got no issue with that. Excuse me. Right. An hour and 35. Fun times, of course. We're not done yet. But an hour and 35 there was good fun. I've got all the predictions. They're all ready for the review show. Don't worry. I'm just going to get up the good fun. Oh, yeah. Which she's going to be dropping very, very soon. That Rev Pro title, she's dropping it at Forbidden Door weekend. Like I'm so confident she's dropping it that weekend. AEW needed a superstar like Jericho kick off AEW Dynamite. If he had said yes in 2019, the very first champion would have been CM Punk. He would have been the very first if he had said yes in 2019. Because Tony Khan wanted him to be the first marquee signing in 2019. He didn't get it. But getting Jericho is never a bad thing. Obviously, he's dwindling down. He can still pull off a great match and a great segment here and there, but in 2019, going with Chris Jericho is not a bad shout either. It's not a bad thing. The guy never fails to deliver. I'm thinking maybe. I still think Danny Luna's still going to try force herself back into the conversation. But Alex Windsor, I would be all in for it regardless. I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm still expecting it. She's losing it though, all in weekend at the Rev Pro anniversary show, which sadly I am not going to this year. Didn't Jericho once choke out Goldberg? Well, he wanted to. I hate how Goldberg treated Chris Jericho, actually. Chris Jericho could have made him an even bigger and more relevant star than what he is. He wanted to beat up Brock Lesnar, which was wild. I rate that about Chris Jericho. Aubrey's still on TV because she's been there for so long. I was watching that run. That's why I'm saying I've got no issue with it. Like I was watching it. It was incredible. I never miss anything to do with him. Go on, guys. 20 minutes, and then we're out of here. The Painmaker was one of the best creative changes Chris Jericho could ever have done. If he hadn't done that, he would have died in 2019. Well, mid 2018 into 2019. His Intercontinental title run was great. His matches with Naito were top tier. Jericho, for me, what's coming next? I think he's on the way out now. I think he's on the way out, buddy. I think when he comes back, if he comes back, he'll put over one little talent, and then that'll be it. I think Mercedes will have a different match at Forbidden Door. That's why I don't think the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship will be on the line at Forbidden Door. I think it'll be the anniversary show the night before. I think Mercedes has a different match at Forbidden Door. One that might shock people. Yep, that is true. Jericho should be part of their creative team. Or be a permanent commentator. Get rid of some of the crap on commentary. That commentary team needs a huge refresh. Yeah, Rev Pro anniversary shows where it's going to happen. How far do you think Carlito could have gone with a proper push, and is it too late? Well, it is absolutely too late now. Carlito is not that good anymore. He doesn't bring anything to the product. If he had got a proper push, he may have been a world champion, but I don't know. Is it true Mr. Perfect took down Brock Lesnar on a plane? He did put shaving cream on his head and then smacked him, and then Brock Lesnar came after him, and then he ripped the head out of him. Shaving cream on Brock's head and smacked him, like, absolutely sickening. And Perfect was just exactly like Owen Hart. They just love to rib people. They love pranks. Obviously, Brock took it differently. Went after Perfect, and then, well, Perfect did get some revenge. They hated each other, though. Perfect hated Lesnar. Lesnar hated Perfect. He was also a tough guy as well, though. Like, Kurt Hennig is one of the legit tough guys of pro wrestling. You ask anybody from the AWA days to early WWF days, anybody that gets in the face of Kurt Hennig is getting the shit kicked out of them. That man takes no shit. To be fair, at the time, this was Brock Lesnar, like, pre-UFC. Like, this is Brock Lesnar just getting on the main roster. The spit the apple stuff doesn't work anymore. Carlito fails in this era of wrestling in general. No idea. It's still a couple of years away. When that happens, honestly, that'll be the real death for wrestling for me. When Jericho wanted to beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar, I think Jericho's just plain crazy. How about when Brock Lesnar potato sat Bob Holly? Yep. That we know what happened. The good thing is Brock Lesnar at least apologized. It won't work because nobody would find it enjoyable in 2025. Why would anybody want to see Carlito doing that in 2025? The mid 2010s, yeah, but he fucked off. He's been nothing for years. Even the Judgment Day, like, you see that he offers there's nothing that Carlito does in 2025 that you can actually say, you know what, I'm excited by you. To be fair, nobody fucks about with MVP though. I mean, then again though, just ask Batista how it feels to fight Booker T. Oh yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious, James. That was funny. I think Jericho is just insane. I don't think he's a tough guy. Like, there's so many wrestlers I can name that are tough guys. He ain't one of them. Yeah, Carlito's our truth at this point. Why can't he redeem himself? Because the gimmick offers nothing in 2025. Carlito in this day and age, you would want something different from him. The spit the apple stuff, it's not exciting. What is exciting though is who you've just named. He at least has something. I just don't think you can do anything with Carlito in 2025. A long time ago. Imagine a Dynamite Kid versus Bob Holly. Yeah, that would have been a really odd one. Congrats to Mayu Iwatani. Yeah, that's true. She did win the Superfly Championship. That's good win for her. I agree with that. I agree with that, Maria. Carlito is a good for Latino talent as a manager. I wouldn't mind that at all. He would put them over really well. Wonder if anyone ever tried to tough guy Ken Shamrock. One talent did and one talent succeeded. Not really. I don't think anyone's given up in the sense on Carlito. Carlito, the business has passed him by. Simple as that. Like, it's just passed him by. Dynamite Kid versus Pac. Now, I see a little bit of that. That would actually be interesting. We never got Dynamite Kid versus Owen Hart on the grand stage. That's what we missed. No, wasn't Taker. I think when you mention stiffness, I think the perfect opponent for Dynamite Kid in terms of being stiff. In terms of stiff in the ring, I think Dutch Mantel was the one opponent Dynamite Kid never got that he deserved. Carlito's not a fascinating wrestler though. In ring is important though. You can have a great character, which is so true. People are clearly starving for outrageous characters. But Carlito's not outrageous. Carlito's just finished. Who wins in a real fight, Shamrock or Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar. Ken Shamrock though Ken Shamrock would give Brock Lesnar a scare though. Like he would really give him a scare. But I think Brock's just overwhelming speed and power. They can't match that. There is one person that I would put in a fight against both of those, and they definitely lose. Actually, there's two people, prime for prime, I put in a fight with Lesnar or Shamrock, and I know that both men don't win. I am looking at objectively. Carlito is washed. You can't redeem him. Oh yeah, that match is still on YouTube. That match is still on YouTube. Like, when you look at, he hasn't stood out for a long time though. All he's doing right now is standing up to the C-Tech Chuck Palumbo. He's not as good as he used to be, that's the thing. Yeah, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle mopped Brock Lesnar. The names I was thinking of, by the way, was Kurt Angle and Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. They would rip Lesnar and Shamrock apart if he was still alive. But yeah, Brock Lesnar disrespected Kurt Angle. Brock Lesnar disrespected Kurt Angle, and Kurt reminded him who the true athlete was. Reece, you can add one title match of any title to this pay-per-view. Which is it? I'm taking Kenny Omega out of the Anarchy in the Arena and having him defend his international title against I was going to say Kevin Knight, but he's still in New Japan. You know what? Just for fun, for old time's sake, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the international title. I'm not judging Carlito on wins and losses though. I judge Carlito on what he brings to the business now. And he hasn't brought anything for quite a while. That's nothing against him. WWE, in my opinion, let him down when they brought him back in Puerto Rico. Like, plain and simple, he hasn't offered anything significant since Puerto Rico. That's not me saying anything wrong about him. Like, I'm looking at it in that manner, and I don't see it. Even when he was doing these comedic stuff in the mid-2000s, he was still delivering very strongly on all fronts. At the moment, there's nothing there. At the moment, there's nothing there for me when it comes to Carlito. And I tried with Carlito when he came back. So I was like, you know what? This is a bit of a fun return. It's not a bad idea. Carlito's always been cool. But I feel like they mugged him. Just like R-Truth is being mugged at Saturday's main event. Like, he's being mugged by getting a non-title match. And I listened to his promo last night. Like, I went back because I didn't watch SmackDown. I had something better on telly. Thank God I had something better on. I went back and watched this thing, and people are saying he can turn Cena back from the dark side. Jesus Christ. Triple Nose having you get more or less. But yeah, Nick, to answer your question, I'm 100%. I would add Omega versus Christian Cage. I would have put Mark Briscoe and Anarchy in the arena match, to be honest. I would have dropped FTR versus Garcia and McGuinness and the World Tag Team title match to Collision. The promo was horrible. Zodiac, good seeing you, my friend. Yes, the review show is tomorrow. The review show's tomorrow. Oh, Haku is scary in real life. Yeah, 100%. Haku is scary. That man's an absolute nightmare. A real, genuine tough guy. When I look at tough guys in the business, dead or alive, Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Haku, Bob Backlund, tough guy, the Iron Sheik, the original Sheik, Shibata, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Perfect, Bob Holly, Lesnar, Shamrock, Vader. They're all, for me, legit tough guys. You wouldn't fuck about with them. Is GBL tough? Not as much as, say, Ron Simmons, but I would say he is a little bit tough. He's tough on Wall Street. Harley Race was incredibly tough, 100%. How would you have booked the Wyatt Six the first few months? I'm going to say this now, mate. I wouldn't have booked them to begin with. That might sound harsh, but I would never have booked them to begin with. Mark Henry, yeah. Mark Henry, tough guy, yeah. Steve Blackman definitely was a tough guy. Dan Severn was a tough guy. I've said it before. That this is going to sound incredibly cruel, but I'm consistent to the whole point of view. I'll never change. The Wyatt Six is dead on arrival because the great mind behind it, sadly, is dead. Taker, legitimate tough guy? I don't think so. I don't think Taker's a tough guy. Believable guy, but legitimate tough guy? No. I think Glenn Jacobs is more of a legitimate tough guy than Taker, to be honest. When he's not in a suit doing his political battles. Bret Hart's a legitimate tough guy. Shawn Michaels is not. Stu Hart, yeah, Stu Hart, 100%. Brian Pillman, I would have said, was a tough guy back in the day. Steve Blackman, 100%, Glenn, yeah, 100%. They did. The thing is, though, is they sold a lot of merch and did good numbers, but the faction doesn't mean anything without Bray Wyatt. Never will. You know who else was a tough guy, but nobody gives a lot of thought to, but he really was? Rick Rude. Rick Rude as well. Junkyard Dog. Steve Austin's not a tough guy. The Rock. Nah. I wouldn't have tried because without him it doesn't feel right for me. That's all. Without them it doesn't feel right for me. Mick Foley was a genuine tough guy. He might look soft, but that guy's tough. Terry Funk was tough. Dory Funk Jr. tough. Ricky Steamboat was tough. Raven, Sandman, Sabu. What are AEW's biggest issues? Not essentially his dude love for me, it was just when he was Cactus Jack. That was the real toughness. Like Mankind, seriously cynical, but like incredible. But Booker T, tough guy. But in terms of what are AEW's biggest issues, in terms of AEW's biggest issues, AEW's biggest issue is maintaining consistency. Jack Russo is definitely a tough guy. Who would you consider the real life tough woman in wrestling besides Ronda and Shayna? Bull Nakano. Yeah, the tag divisions are definitely in a shitstorm right now. Bull Nakano is a definite tough woman. Alundra Blaze. Natalia Neidhart is actually a tough woman when she's not doing stuff with her sister. Roxy Laveau. Gail Kim. Sherry was tough. Try to think who else. Yeah, Sherry was tough. Oh, I was going to say for the male talent as well. Jushin Liger and um, yeah, those two especially. I was coming to them. I was coming to those two specifically. Jushin Liger and Great Muta were tough. Mayu Yamashita and Masha Slamovich, yes, they are. Li Ying Lee's tough. Killer Kelly's tough. Jacqueline. Anybody that doesn't think Jacqueline is insane. Taz was tough. Kelly. No, she's not tough. She's soft like piece of paper. I mean, Killer Kelly. Killer Kelly's the tough one. Is Scott Steiner tough? Yes, I don't think Rick is. Ishii, yes. El Desperado is insanely tough. Shingo has his moments. Gabe Kidd, definitely. Mark Merrill, nah, he's a pussy. Marina Shafir, she's tough. The woman behind me, she might not seem it, but she's tough. Jeff Cobb, nah, I don't think he's tough. The winner are tough enough. Well, Maven certainly wasn't tough. And Daniel Puder, well, he got kicked out of the locker room, so that says a lot about how tough he is. The Godfather definitely is tough. Stevie Richards is tough. Arn Anderson, 100%. Tully Blanchard as well. CM Punk, he's not tough. Bart Gunn, he's a pussy. Huge pussy. Oh yeah, you know that there's actually a story that he refused to fight Dan Severn in the Brawl for All. Like he refused. He got through Brawl for All by luck. Statistically, and Wrestling Bios actually counts it properly. See if you look at his Brawl for Alls, he should have lost to Dan Severn. Who is more tough, Matt or Jeff? Jeff Hardy's tougher than Matt every day of the week and twice on Sundays. My favourite storyline in wrestling. Ooh. Big Show, nah. He's just slow and stupid. Big John Studd was tough. But Big Show, nah. I don't consider him tough any day of the week. My favourite storyline in wrestling, though. Kevin Nash, he isn't tough at all. I don't think CM Punk is somebody I would consider a tough guy, though. Scott Hall was tough. Viscera's a strange one. To be honest, my favorite storyline goes a. To be honest, my favorite storyline is totally different to what any of you guys are thinking of. Summer of Punk was a bad story. Kane Taker 97-98 was a great story, but my favorite storyline was, to this day, it's still 97 Bret Hart. Like, his entire year is a storyline in itself, except for the shit that happened in the Survivor Series. But singular story. Um, Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe at Lockdown 2008. New Jack, crazy tough guy. Psycho. Papa Shango doing Voodoo and the Ultimate Warrior was wild, but I preferred what Jake Roberts did to him. What Jake Roberts did to him was horrifyingly good. I'd say AJ and his feud with Kurt Angle was good for me as well. Savage, even though I hate the man, Savage versus that wanker Hulk Hogan is still one of the best storylines. Savage versus Warrior WrestleMania 7 is another one for me. And then Brett versus Owen. How could you not say Brett versus Owen, I suppose? It's just too damn good. Sabu versus Taz is another one of my favourites. And Sabu versus Abyss. Sergeant Slaughter becoming an Iraqi sympathizer was insane. Top 5 favourite triple threat matches ever. I have to answer that question again. We did that last Monday. Oh, Kevin Nash is as tough as a pencil. One snap and that's it. That's his quads. But yeah, top 5 triple threat matches. Alright, we'll make it quick and easy. Unbreakable 2005. WrestleMania 20 is third. Rock versus Angle versus Taker. Then I've got that second. Then obviously WrestleMania 20. The Euro Continental match is fourth, and then fifth is the Wrestle Dream triple threat. And then just below that is the Euro Continental triple threat match. The Road Warriors were tough, yeah. They were tough lads. To be fair, they had to be, or they would never get taken seriously. The Von Erichs were all tough. Dream ladder match: Bret Hitman Hart versus who? Demolition, yeah. Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega versus actually those four as a fatal four-way would just be amazing. But add in I'd add in CM Punk, and then lastly I would add in Kota Ibushi, with Tetsuya Naito facing the winner. But if it's just one-on-one Dream Ladder matches, Bret versus Omega. Is John Moxley insanely tough? No. I don't think he's insanely tough. I think he's slightly tough though for what he's had to go through, but I don't think he's insanely tough. Yeah, I agree with you, Zodiac. I agree. Toughest commentators. Macho Man, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon. If Hogan's tough, then I'm the king of the world. Brock Lesnar is, yeah, he is tough though. He is tough. Joey Styles might surprise you in terms of tough commentary. I'll tell you who's not a tough commentator: Jonathan Coachman. He's a wimp. Taz is definitely a tough one. Jerry Lawler. I, I don't know. Hogan is a chump, yeah. Scott Norton is an interesting one. I think he's slightly tough, but a broken nail probably makes him cry. Could a stable of Hollywood Hogan, Charlotte Flair, and Logan Paul work in terms of heat? In terms of heat, yes, but then Hogan would just say, "You don't work for me, brother, and you're not good enough, sister," and then that'll be it. Faction done in one day. Warrior, nah, he ain't tough for me. I reckon if Warrior in his prime was walking about, he'd be a weakness. Like, I think Ultimate Warrior was a genuine pussy. I'll tell you who's not a tough guy either. Triple H. He ain't a tough guy. Sean Waltman at times was tough. Big Boss Man. Late 90s, absolutely. Early 90s, I'd say he wasn't anything, but late 90s, he was definitely tough. Dustin Rhodes is tougher than his brother, that's for sure. And he's tougher than his dad. Yeah, I would say Dustin Rhodes is the only tough guy in the family. Slightly sensitive question. How would Owen Hart's career have gone if that terrible accident didn't happen? Would he have stayed in WWE or would he have followed Brett to WCW? Owen Hart would have been WWE champion. Dr. Death Steve Williams absolutely was tough. Roddy Piper was tough. Despite being a psychotic killer. Snuka was tough. Paul Heyman is a wimp. He's tough on the cheeseburgers, but that's about it. Mr. T, I've no idea. Shane McMahon just really is. He's endurable. He isn't tough, but he endures. Goldberg, nah. He just looked scary, but I don't think he was tough at all. I mean, according to the clown Ryback, he would make money. The Rock's dad, I've heard a lot of stories about Rocky Johnson when he was with Tony Atlas. I would say those two were. What would you change about the current WWE? Sell the companies they've bought, sack the booker, and allow the talent to work freely. He called you a tough guy for booing him at a house show. Nice. Actually, I forgot three people. Stephanie Vacour, Jordan Grace, and Jonathan Gresham. Actually, four. Zack Sabre Jr. Umaga, yes. God rest his soul. Absolutely tough he was. You know who else was tough? Prince Albert. Especially after they came back from Japan. Oh yeah, he did have the boxing background definitely does help. That's what I like about it. Kamala, I don't know about Kamala. I haven't heard any stories about Kamala to justify it. John Tenta, Earthquake, yeah. I've heard stories about him. Who would you like to punch the most in the wrestling business? William Regal was definitely tough. Fit Finlay was tough. His son's tough. There's 5 people in the wrestling business I would love. That is true. There's 5 people in the wrestling business I would love to punch. Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, The Miz, Marty Scurll, and I'd resurrect him to punch him back to death, Chris Benoit. Who, annoyingly, he's another tough guy. Eric Bischoff, I'd punch him all day. I'd love to punch Eric Bischoff. That guy is a pain in the tits. Why The Miz? He's just a boring little bastard. The Guerrero brothers, Bruce Pritchard, he deserves a good punch. The Guerrero brothers, Eddie Guerrero, definitely. Hector Guerrero, yes. Chavo, I don't think Chavo was tough. What did The Miz do? The Miz just existed, alright? He exists. He's bored. Well, he's not overly boring, but he just bugs me. No, he wasn't right at all. Pat McAfee's definitely on my list too, James. I just don't want to say his name because he just irritates me that much. He was out the locker room far too long, and I found it disgusting that even so many veterans did not step in. Like, I'll say this, the Harris twins, yeah. I think The Undertaker was a big disgrace for this because he didn't get involved until late on, which I don't understand. Pat Patterson, he was tough to. Actually, I'm not saying that. Sharpshooter, crossbodies, spine busters, rock bottoms, choke slams, tombstone pile drivers, power bombs. Nearly broke my back doing it. That's why I added to my back issues. Elbow drops, swanton bombs, C4 spikes, stunners, frog splashes, the lasso from El Paso, the lion tamer, mandible claw, sleeper holds, muscle buster, styles clash, spears, flatliners / reverse STOs, DDTs, angle slam, ankle lock, knee bars, heel hooks, Indian death lock, the Rings of Saturn, the Brock lock, Boston Crab, yeah, that and the Lion Tamer version, like the 2 different versions. Kimura locks, arm bars, Boston, a good old-fashioned bow and arrow stretch. The Cobra Clutch. Big boots, drop kicks. Tequila Sunrise, yeah. I've done a crossface chicken wing to a few people, yeah. Multiple German suplexes. Perfect plex, Fisherman Busters, the Patella knee buster once. Angel wing once. One-winged angel once. The Rainmaker clothesline. Crossface. STOs. I've never done a banzai drop because I don't have the ass for it and I don't have the weight either. But that's pretty much all I've done. Gorilla press. No, but I've done backbreakers and side slams. Which pay-per-view would be better, AEW or TNA? Well, TNA's pay-per-view is not till next month. So, AEW. Stinkface, nah, I'm alright. I've done the X Factor a few times. Not the actual singing contest. I don't care about that crap. I've done like the actual like 6-packs X Factor. Super kicks until I got annoyed with them. And I've done the Outsider's Edge. All before my back issues kicked in. Oh, and the gory bomb as well. So much fun. I used to do a lot of wrestling, trampoline wrestling with friends. So, what can I say? World champion over here. $1 Million Dream. I've done a variation of that as well, yeah. And I did do the figure 4 leg lock round the post and a normal figure 4. Inverted DDTs and then Scorpion Death Drop version. We used to just do matches. Favorite finisher ever? It's still the sharpshooter for me, buddy. Done the crippler crossface to a few people, yeah. In matches. One or two brainbusters. Do you know how to play instruments and can you play any wrestling themes? Guitar. But I can't play any wrestling themes, sadly. I'd love to play a few on the piano if I had a piano. Who had the best choke slam ever? I think Full Evolution, Taker. I've done the Mandible Claw, yeah. I've done the Mandible Claw to a few people. Iron Claw once. Done Dragon Suplex as well, that was fun. Done a couple of Ripcord knees and the V trigger as well. That was hard. Like that was to do it right. Yeah, done a low blow with a foot. With or without Socko? Without. I use something else. I never used the left hand, but it was the one I picked up first. I did the mandible claw with gloves. Would you ever try the Canadian Destroyer? I have. And it didn't go well. It only ended up in a sunset flip bomb. Is Quentin Tarantino tough? I would say so. I have tried the Canadian Destroyer though. I will not lie. I've tried the Canadian Destroyer. But I was very tall, so it was hard to do for me getting the elevation. I've done the Penta Driver. I've done the package power driver. All that is crazy. The Canadian Destroyer is dangerous. That's what makes it so amazingly aesthetic. And I hate that it's becoming so overused now in the wrestling business when it shouldn't be. Best dropkick ever? AJ Styles. Then Okada. 100% for me, those two. I've done the F5 before, and that was wild. So I know what you mean about legs giving way. I did a powerbomb once on a friend of mine who's heavy, and I actually felt my back crack. And then a few months later is when I got really hurt, and after that, I've never done a powerbomb since. Not his fault. It's simple. Like I got kneed in the back badly. Best body press. As in like crossbody, or do you mean like just checking what body press? Because people use the body press as like a crossbody. They use it as a gorilla press. They use it as a splash. Just want to double check what body press you're checking on. Gangrel should have been pushed heavy because Gangrel had one of the coolest gimmicks in the 90s. Oh, best crossbody. Ooh, that's a good one. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero and Jushin Liger tied together for me. Actually, they're a draw. I'll go another 5 minutes and then I'm gonna chill back. Have you ever botched a spear or a clothesline? Thankfully, no. I've never botched those two. I actually speared someone onto a drain once because they spat on a friend. They spat on a friend of mine, so I speared them, and they landed back first on a drain. My friend grabbed him by the throat because he spat on him. I was like, the fuck, like he spat on me. So he fucking grabbed him by the throat and lifted him. I just ran up and just speared the fucker. I was like, I'm not having that. Do you watch horror shows and movies? If so, what do you like? I love movies. I watch horror shows, particularly shows wise, American Horror Story, films wise, Friday the 13th, and Alien. Do you always prefer Pepsi to Cola? Pepsi for me is my favorite drink, specifically Pepsi Max. It's my favorite drink. Your favorite wrestling podcast besides your own? Alien or Alien 2? Alien 2. I think that was an accidental delete. I'm still answering the question. I can't bring it back, sadly. Favorite wrestling podcast. So I like wrestling bios. I do like listening to Covalent TV. I do like listening to Matt's channel, Graps TV. Nick's channel, Nick Teodoro, which is really good, and I like listening to Dutch Mantel. I really like listening to Dutch Mantel. There's some other good ones out there, but in terms of my favourites, those are my favourites. That film was a strange one. Someone recommended They. Have you seen that? Not yet, I'm afraid. I've heard good things about it. Which WWE diva would you have as your valet? So when it was just the diva era, so '08 to 2016. Hmm. I think it's between three from that era. So Mickey James, actually, it's between four. Actually, I'm sorry. Mickey James, Beth Phoenix, AJ Lee, or Maria Kanellis. Outside mention Paige, but it's between those four. I would probably lean towards Maria because she was just. It makes more sense as a valet, but if I want somebody to just fight them, I would take Beth Phoenix. She is good. She is good. There's some channels I don't watch anymore. Like I just stop watching. I know a lot of people praise them, but I stopped watching a few of them. Like I don't watch Wrestle Purists anymore. And there's nothing against hating them or anything. I don't hate them. I just don't watch as much anymore. I do like um, Don DeLeon. He's quite good for posting TV episodes. And I do like listening to Jeff Jarrett's podcast. And I like listening to anything that um, I do like wrestling shoot interviews, WSI. The Lowdown's a good channel. The Lowdown's a good channel. And Brass Ring Media, James Romero overall is a good podcaster. And I like listening to RVD now and again. Marky D, really good. And I like listening to. There's one I've actually got it here somewhere. Good mic work. I don't mind listening to Chris Van Vliet a lot. He's actually all right. Francine's got a good podcast. I used to love Marlena. I think a lot of people did. George Romero. Damn, I gotta check that. And James Romero. James Romero. He's the guy who does like the podcast with Stevie Richards and Dutch Mantel. Dutch Mantel's podcast is a good listen to for an all round just fair take on wrestling. But James Romero's particularly very good. He did a podcast with Don Morocco years ago. He did one with Shane Douglas now and then, but he's hard to do. Shane Douglas is a good listen though. Yeah, they are like. Like he doesn't bullshit around things. I think the Oh, what's the channel? Oh, because Bret Hart did a brilliant shoot interview on it. Two seconds. That's it. Inside the ropes. Inside the ropes, I like. If Model Martel was 10 out of 10, which I've said before on the mic, he was 10 out of 10 for me. He was a great wrestler. Giant Gonzalez was 0 out of 10 for mic skills. What out of 10 was Triple H? 5. Right down the middle. I can't ever recall disagreeing with any of their takes. I think across every promotion they're speaking of, they're balanced. They don't bullshit about it. I don't think they're harsh either. I think they're very, very fair. And that's how it should be. The Dark Side of the Ring podcast is actually quite good as well. There's so many out there. Elizabeth Hurley or Emily Blunt. Ooh. I mean, that's quite a question, my friend. And to be honest, if you're being really honest, for me the answer's her. %, is Elizabeth Hurley for me. Because I don't see anything respectfully in Emily Blunt. I haven't in years. She's not unattractive or anything, but what is the darkest Dark Side of the Ring story in your opinion? Daphne. Daphne, then the North Korea show for WCW, and then Plane Ride from Hell, because that was disgusting. I'm looking forward to watching the next episode, but the next episode is going to bring up a lot of bad memories for people. That's going to be an awkward watch this week. The episode on Tuesday is going to be very, very weird. You like the Sweeney chick? Was Sydney Sweeney? I am interested in it, Maria, because that shows how racist Vince was, and wrongly treated the man. Horrible what they did to him. That shit. That shit you'll never. Oh, Plane Ride from Hell. Honestly, God, man, fucking hell. The woman who worked for the company that was on the plane, what she went through, fucking hell. Oh yeah, he got the shaft. Horrible. Like, the guy's not even American. He's Italian. Well, he's not like fully American, whatever. He's Italian. He's a Italian American. And they're like, nah, you're gonna be Arab American. You're gonna be on this side of for the East, and you're gonna be all in our face. And then we're gonna get rid of you after the Manchester bombings. That guy got the worst heat you can think of. He got horribly treated. It was disgusting. I feel bad for him. I really did. It's a shame as well because he's a heel. His heel work was brilliant. But what they did to him is unforgivable. Unforgivable. Okay. For anyone that's still in the chat, one last question each, and then I'm going to get out of here. One more question, then I'm going. Do, do, do. Do you consider the gender gimmick racist? What the Maharaja gimmick? I don't think so. I don't think it is, unless I've interpreted the gimmick wrong. I don't think it's. I don't think it is. I don't think that one's particular. I don't think that one is. No. Death row meal starter, main course, dessert, drink. Death row meal, 30 chicken wings. Main course, a full turkey roast dinner. Vegetables, mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, stuffing and gravy. Dessert, chocolate, raspberry ripple, strawberry and mint chocolate ice cream, and then Pepsi Max to drink. That's a great question to ask, though, but unfortunately, Death Row, but I understand why you've asked it. Best video game of all time. Just because it's my favorite game ever, I'm gonna go with Batman Arkham City. What flavor chicken wings? Plain. I'm not really one for flavor on chicken wings. I just like it when they're just cooked properly with some herbs on them. But plain. Oh, it's amazing. All four of those games, or 5 games, are up there, but Arkham City for me is my favorite. Do you like America's Got Talent? I've watched it, but I'm not really one for those kind of shows. Best enemy in Arkham City, Mr. Yeah. I have multiple favorites indeed, but for me, the greatest band of all time is Queen. Did you enjoy NXT UK? The first 6 months. I enjoyed the first 6 months, and then after that, I just stopped watching. I just, I just, I was just like, no, I didn't think there was anything overly wrong with it. I just faded. I was like, I want to watch other things, and there was other things that were more my enjoyment anyway. So I was like, the first 6 months I did. Do you like the Rolling Stones? Yes, I do. And then we're about to hit 2 hours 45. So when it gets to that, I'm going to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Good night. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. You've all been an amazing audience. Like vanilla ice cream's nice. The Beatles, yeah, they're good. Who do you think is the greatest actor of all time? All right, I'll answer that. Then I'll leave. I have a tie between Jack Nicholson and Michael Caine, but I really do like Gary Oldman. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. God bless. Good night. See you tomorrow, and we'll see how Double or Nothing goes. Kick it, keeping it real. Yes, you'll see me tomorrow. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, one and all, one and all. See you next time. See you next time. Good night.